Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bay Area Case Studies Virtual College Fair Explore session. Thanks so much for joining us. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists will not be able to see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions that are happening, so be sure to sign up for more. You have that opportunity after this. And lastly, this presentation is being recorded, and that recording is going to be available within about a week at strivescan.com/BACS. We have a great variety of schools that are going to be presenting to you today that are going to vary in size, location, and other characteristics. And we hope that this session is going to broaden your horizons during your college search. I want to go ahead and give you just an idea of who we're going to be hearing from today in Explore Session 12. So we have the University of Michigan, Emory University, Lawrence University, Muhlenberg College, and the University of San Diego. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and pass it on to our presenters, starting with the University of Michigan.
Thanks so much, Andy, and welcome everyone. I will go ahead and just share my screen, so bear with me for a few seconds. Hopefully all of you are able to see the slides in front of you. And just to get started, there's a lot of information we'll cover in the next 6 minutes or so. My name is Chris Sisora, my pronouns are he, him, and I serve as the Regional Recruitment Coordinator within the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. I am traditionally based in California, have been in this role for 5 years, and work primarily with students from California as well as my home state of Hawaii. In terms of getting started, we always like to acknowledge our past or reflect on our past as an institution, where we are today and where we see ourselves going in the future. First, I'd like to acknowledge that the University of Michigan resides on the ancestral, tribal, and traditional contemporary lands of the Anishinaabe people. In 1817, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations made the largest single land transfer to the University of Michigan, ceded through the treaty at Fort Meigs so that their children could be educated. We recognize the history of displacement of Native communities that facilitated the founding of the University of Michigan. We also acknowledge the sovereignty of tribal lands, and we reaffirm contemporary as well as ancestral Anishinaabe ties to this land, as well as the profound contributions of Native Americans to this institution. In addition, just as we acknowledge the land upon which we live, we also feel compelled to speak to both the reality as well as serious impacts of racial injustice in our country. Black Lives Matter and the reality of these roles we must play an active role at the University of Michigan in the conversation around those injustices and in forging a path towards positive change. Our efforts begin with fostering a diverse, equitable, as well as inclusive community for our students, faculty, and staff here on campus. Recognizing that the University of Michigan is a majority white institution, please know that we do have an ongoing focus spearheaded by our DEI office, again, diversity, equity, and inclusion, on improving our climate of diversity to be supportive of all. As you can see the slide in front of us, our president, Mark Schissel, is quoted as saying, we have to say out loud, Black Lives Matter, and end that sentence. It doesn't need to be modified. Black Lives Matter. And for you students, there is a William Monroe Trotter Multicultural Center located on campus that supports the efforts of students that are looking to be involved in diversity, equity, as well as inclusion. In terms of general background about the University of Michigan, in case you're wondering, this is your first experience learning about Michigan, we are located in Ann Arbor. We moved here in 1837. It is about 45 minutes from downtown Detroit. It is recognized as one of the top college towns across the US, with more than 300 restaurants located in downtown Ann Arbor, as well as great access to nature as it is nestled alongside the Huron River. In terms of demographics, we are a public research institution, so this slide will give you some context around our undergraduate population. We have close to 30,000 undergraduate students. A little more than half are coming from in-state, from the state of Michigan. The rest are coming from out of state as well as international. California students, you are very well represented. It is our third biggest out-of-state population. 14% of our students identify as the first in their family to attend a four-year institution. 18% of our students identify as Pell eligible. 27% self-identify as students of color, and 17% identify as members of the LGBTQ+ community. The geographic as well as ethnic diversity illustrated by this slide indicates that your experience at the University of Michigan will be further enhanced by the students who are coming from across the country as well as across the globe. In terms of our academic programs, many of you may be wondering how many majors are offered, what schools and colleges. The slide illustrates this in front of you. In a traditional year, we have only 7% of our classes have more than 100 students. 84% are capped at 50 students or below. Popular majors include Michigan engineering with 17 specific engineering majors. We also offer psychology, biology. We have a pre-health advising track, as well as the world-renowned Ross School of Business. None of our majors are impacted, and students coming into LSA, which is Literature, Science, and the Arts, come in as undecided students, where you don't have to actually declare until you are in your third year on campus. In terms of the vibe at the University of Michigan, you can see the slide in front of you. We are known as a public research institution. We're the #1 public institution in terms of investments, $1.5 billion each year. We are very much a residential campus. 97% of our students, first-year students, will reside on campus during that pivotal first year. We have residence halls solely geared towards students in finding community. For example, we have WISE RP, which stands for the Women in Science and Engineering Residential Program, which is a living learning community designed to support women in STEM. My last few minutes, I'll speak about our Alumni Ties as well as our application process. So in terms of becoming a Michigan student, it really does unlock a lifetime of potential that stays with you well beyond your years in Ann Arbor. We have more than 630,000 living alumni across the globe that provide a valuable professional as well as personal network for our Michigan graduates. I will also want to say that our students are enacting positive change as well as our alums throughout their communities and bring innovative ideas from their own diverse experiences as well as backgrounds. Now, in terms of applying, my last minute, I'll talk about the application process. I'll actually just scroll and put my contact information for those of you wondering. You can always contact me via email, but we do a holistic review. At the University of Michigan, this past year, we were test flexible for the class of 2021. We don't have any specific guidance for you juniors, class of 2022 or younger. So I just want to be transparent in stating that we don't have any formal guidelines as far as will be or will we not be test flexible moving forward. Test flexible is defined as students you are able to apply with no test scores. You can also submit AP, IB, anything that helps us to better understand your academic context coming out of high school. So in case you're wondering what test flexible means, we do offer early action, which is non-binding, November 1st is the upcoming deadline for you juniors out there. February 1st is our deadline for regular decision. The School of Music, Theater, and Dance, one of our talent-based programs, there is an audition process. So we do recommend really dedicating some time to learning about that nuanced process. Last but not least, in wrapping up, financial aid, please contact our Office of Financial Aid and utilize that net cost calculator on their website. For more information, of course, you can always email me. My email address is on the screen there, but I want to thank you all for your time. And of course, go blue. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you to the University of Michigan. And next up is Emory University.
All right, good evening, everyone. Giles Eady, Associate Dean of Undergraduate Admission at Emory University, located in the lovely city of Atlanta, Georgia. So Emory University, located in Atlanta, Georgia. Here's an aerial shot of the campus and our proximity to the city of Atlanta. Located in a wonderful city to attend college, and that's the city of Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta is an outstanding place to be a college student. I think it really goes hand in hand with a collegiate experience. It's a city where I like to think that you have all the same things in Atlanta that you would have in any major city, but the pace of the way things move in Atlanta is a little bit slower, but it's not a super slow pace. It's just right there in the middle. So Atlanta, in addition to Emory University, has about 19 other colleges and universities. So that we have a student population in the city of about 100,000 students. And so we have agreements that say that you can actually take courses on any college campus located in the city. So it really allows you to really diversify your collegiate experience by having those many colleges there in the city. So something to note about Atlanta, if you do not know, Atlanta is the birthplace and home of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And so the spirit of Dr. King still very much so exists in the city of Atlanta. I venture to say to be a college student in Atlanta is to partly be an activist. Having great people like the late Representative John Lewis, who's from Atlanta, who said, you got to get in good trouble. We expect students at Emory who come to Atlanta to get in good trouble. Or we expect people to get involved with good people like Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams is, I think, the catalyst for why Georgia became a battleground state in the last presidential election. So to be a college student in Atlanta is also be civically engaged as well. So about Emory University, we have 2 campuses that you choose from in your first 2 years at Emory University. So the first campus is Emory College, located in Atlanta. And the second one is Oxford College, which is located about 45 minutes east of Atlanta. Oxford is actually Emory's first campus, and then we moved to Atlanta in the early 1900s. but we still have it open. So today, as a student, you choose one of those two campuses for your first 2 years at Emory. Then after those first 2 years, everyone comes to Atlanta and goes into their major. And we offer majors in 3 schools. We've got the Goizueta Business School, Emory College, where most of the majors are found. And then we have the School of Nursing. So 2 entry points that lead to one of those 3 places, and then you'll graduate from Emory University. So the differences in the 2 campuses, Oxford College is going to have only first and second year students. So average student population at Oxford College is about 1,000 students. So it's going to look and feel like a traditional liberal arts college. Oxford College is going to be better suited for students who want to get involved pretty early on campus and who also are seeking leadership positions pretty early on campus. Also, it's really geared for students to build personal relationships with professors. So the average class size at Oxford College is about 10 students. So you will know your professors, they will know you. But if you want a little bit of a larger campus, we have the Atlanta campus where the rest of the university is found. And so 7,000 of the 14,000 people on campus are undergraduates. And so the Atlanta campus is going to be in the city of Atlanta, and I think better suited for someone who is looking for research opportunities. The vast majority of research that is conducted at Emory is conducted on the Atlanta campus. So for instance, Emory University tested the Moderna vaccine. So we are one of the reasons you have Moderna vaccinations right now. In 2014, we're the first university in the world to treat Ebola patients. And so we treated 5 patients at Emory University successfully. So a lot of research is conducted at Emory on a daily basis. Now on the Atlanta campus, you will have personal relationships with professors as well. The average class size is about 25 students per class. So you still will know your professors. So you have 2 choices for those first 2 years. And then after those first 2 years, no matter where you start, everyone comes to Atlanta and goes into their major. So with our application process, we take a holistic approach to reviewing the application. So that means that we're going to look at every single part of the application to make a decision. So one single thing does not qualify or disqualify you for admission to Emory University. Something to note with our application process, this coming year, we're also going to be test optional. So that means it is totally optional to submit SAT or ACT scores. We're not going to be looking for those scores if you don't submit them, but it's totally up to you if you want to submit those scores. If not, it's totally fine. With our financial aid process at Emory, we meet 100% of demonstrated need to attend Emory. So that means we're going to look and see what it is that you can afford to attend Emory. And we're going to try our best to help you cover your costs through a series of grants and such. And those are monies that you don't have to pay back. But about 56% of students do receive a substantial amount of financial aid at Emory. And so we do have a wonderful tool, My Intuition, on our financial aid website that you can use to kind of see what affording Emory could look like for you. But just like most campuses, we are doing a lot of things virtually right now. So I strongly recommend that you engage with us virtually. Check out our website. We have a lot of activities happening. If you are on Instagram, I recommend our Instagram page. A lot of fun things happen there daily. But if you have other questions about Emory University, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I will put my information in the chat.
All right, thank you to Emory University. And next up, we have Lawrence University. Oops, sorry, I can't quite hear you. Oh, still can't hear you, Brianna.
Can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Sorry about that, everybody. We even tested before this got started. It's so strange. Anyway, my name is Brianna Barkin. I'm an Associate Director of Admission at Lawrence University in Appleton, Wisconsin, but I am regionally based in Los Angeles, California. We are a small private liberal arts college, part of the Colleges That Change Lives Consortium. We have 1,500 undergraduate students on campus and no graduate students, but we are a university because we have 2 degree granting institutions on campus. We have both the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences and the Conservatory of Music on our campus. We do also offer a 5-year double degree program for students who want to earn both a Bachelor of Music and a Bachelor of Arts in 4 years. Some of our most popular majors in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences right now are biology, history, philosophy, and creative writing. As I mentioned, we have 1,500 undergraduate students. Our faculty to student ratio is only 8:1, which is one of the smallest in the country, and our average class size is only 15 students. 60% of our courses are taught one-on-one. A lot of those are music lessons, but every student typically participates in one independent study with a faculty member during their 4 or 5 years at Lawrence. Every first-year student participates in first-year studies. It is now called first-year studies as of a couple weeks ago, so I haven't gotten rebranded slides yet. It still says freshman studies, but it is an intro to both being a student at a liberal arts college and being a student at Lawrence. So we have 3 10-week terms throughout the year. Your first term and your second term, you will take freshman studies with the same group of 15 students, but a different professor each term. Each section of first-year studies is the same curriculum at the same time. So you'll have a unit in history, a unit in physics, a unit in jazz music, a unit in philosophy, a unit in literature. And then at the end of each unit, the entire first year class does get together for a culminating experience. We have a lot of opportunities for our students outside of the classroom. Because we don't have any graduate students, we do have a lot of research opportunities for students. We do also have experiential learning, and we have our own campus in London, England. Big Ben is not on the screen for nothing. London is the easiest way to study abroad because it is our very own campus, but it's certainly not the only place to study abroad. So if you want to go somewhere else, you certainly will be able to do that as well. We have Division III varsity athletics on campus, including a football team. We are right across the street from downtown Appleton. We are a small city of 75,000 people, and the greater metro area is 250,000 people. We do share a metropolitan area with Green Bay, so there's a lot of Packer fans in the area. We do have an airport 6 miles from campus, 10 minutes away, but we are a 2 to 3 hour drive from Chicago or Milwaukee as well. We are a fairly diverse campus. We have about 22% domestic students of color on campus, 10% international students, and about 10% of our students do come from the great state of California. This is a picture of our 3rd campus in Bjork, London. It is a retreat center on Lake Michigan, and most students go up here about 1 weekend per academic year with a music ensemble, a sports team, a club, a class, to really disconnect from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and really connect with each other. We bookend, your academic experience at Lawrence. You start off with first-year studies and you end with the Chandler Senior Experience. So the Chandler Senior Experience is a senior project, and you can showcase all that you've learned during your time at Lawrence and showcase that to the institution as well. After all of that, we are so proud that within 6 months of graduation, 99% of our students are employed or in graduate school. Last year, we did also have a 100% placement rate into medical school for students who met the med school average. So that's about an 80th percentile on the MCAT and a B+ GPA average. Applying to Lawrence is pretty simple. We are on the Common Application. We do also have our own institutional application. We are test optional. We've been test optional for almost 20 years, so I don't see that changing anytime soon. So don't worry about that as far as we're concerned. We are also recommend interviews. We conduct interviews both in person and on Zoom on campus and also in San Francisco, and we are allowed to travel. So keep an eye out for that next year. Hopefully we'll be able to make that happen. And if you're applying for a music performance major, we do also require these additional things over here, including an audition. We have a very robust financial aid program. We offer merit-based scholarships that go up to roughly $30,000, which is about half of the total cost of attendance. And then we do have a lot of need-based aid as well. This past summer, we met an $85 million fundraising goal to become an institution that meets full demonstrated need. And only 2% of our students are not receiving any sort of aid to attend Lawrence University. You can see all of our application deadlines right here. The most important thing to note is that if you are applying to our one of our music performance majors, you cannot apply early action 2 because that doesn't fall in line with the music faculty review schedule for audition materials. But otherwise, you can apply to any of these deadlines. They do not have a significant impact on admission rate or scholarship opportunity for students. This year, we were able to meet the full demonstrated need of students who did apply early decision. So that was different this past year for early decision, and we are waiting to see kind of what happens this upcoming year. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll answer your questions at the end, but I will pass it off to Becca.
All right, thank you to Lawrence University. And next up, we have Muhlenberg College.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Becca Larson. I'm the Regional Director of Admissions for the West Coast for Muhlenberg College. I work with all students, Mountain Time and further west. Muhlenberg is a small liberal arts college located in Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is about 60 miles from Philadelphia, 90 miles from New York City. We're close to 3 different airports, so it's quite easy to get to campus. You can fly directly into Newark or Philadelphia airports, or you can fly into Allentown. Newark and Philly are about an hour and 10 minutes from campus. Allentown is about a 10-minute drive, 1 terminal, 12 gates, 1 very friendly TSA officer. So it's pretty easy for students to get to campus. Allentown is the 3rd largest city in Pennsylvania, and it's situated within the Lehigh Valley. So Muhlenberg is part of a consortium of other colleges and universities, and the Lehigh Valley was rated in the top 5 for economic development in the US. So it's a really exciting time for students to be a part of the Allentown experience, to get to really take advantage of all that the Valley has to offer. At Muhlenberg, we enroll just under 2,000 students. We are a residential college with 91% of students living on campus all 4 years. Something we're known for at Muhlenberg is the deep sense of community that we have. You'll often hear us referred to as the caring college. If you look behind me on my virtual background, you'll see that red door. Every single door, exterior door on our campus is red, which is actually a Lutheran sign of welcoming. So in addition to that deep sense of community that you feel as you walk around campus, we're also known as a place where students, faculty, staff hold doors open for one another and are just friendly, smiling faces. So that's something we're really proud of at Berg. Other points of pride for us, we are really into food at Muhlenberg. We've been consistently ranked in the top 20 in the nation for best campus food, and often #1 in the state of Pennsylvania. If you come into our campus, I really encourage you to try a house-made whoopie pie, which is a bit of a Pennsylvania delicacy, and we make them in-house in our dining hall every single day. So lots of tasty food coming from campus and really bringing our students together in our dining commons. We are a Division III school for athletics. We offer 22 different Division III sports, including football. Our football team made it to the Final Four in Division III championships in 2019. And while our 2020 season was sadly canceled, we're just putting all of that energy into our 2021 season. So stay tuned for updates on Muhlenberg football. Academically, we offer just under 40 majors at Muhlenberg, but we have a lot of academic breadth for a small college. About 1/3 of our students double major, and another 1/3 pursue a major and a minor combination. So we're a great place for students who are looking for an opportunity to study multiple areas of academic interest and perhaps find connections between those interests as well. We have a top-ranked theater program at Muhlenberg that does include a concentration in musical theater. We put on between 8 to 10 main stage productions in a year, and that produce an additional 40 productions beyond that. So there's no shortage of performance opportunities on campus. Beyond our program in theater, we have other strengths within the arts. We have a film studies program, dance, music, visual arts. And we have a tri-college minor in partnership with Lafayette College and Lehigh University in documentary story making. Outside of our programs within the arts, we're very strong within the sciences. We have a spectacular pre-med program with an 87% admit rate into medical school within the US, and a ton of opportunities for undergraduate research. Healthcare is actually the biggest industry within the Lehigh Valley, so students are able to take advantage of both clinical and research opportunities at the surrounding hospital. So great opportunities for students interested in pursuing a career in the medical field. Beyond our strength within the sciences, we offer majors like business, accounting, economics and finance, media and communications. Some of our newer programs are in public health. We launched a sustainability studies major a couple years ago. So there's a lot of different academic options for students to pursue. And our faculty are fiercely dedicated to their students. Classes are small and discussion-based, and students really are able to learn and grow from one another in the living and learning community that we have fostered at Muhlenberg. We also have many different academic partnerships, so really helping students think about what's next beyond their 4 years of undergraduate education. So we have a 3+4 program with the University of Pennsylvania College of Dentistry, a 3+4 program in optometry with SUNY College of Optometry. Our newest academic partnership is in law in partnership with Villanova University. We have early assurance medical programs with both Boston University and Temple University School of Medicine. We also recently launched a 4+1 program in applied analytics, which is housed right on campus. So students can shave an entire year off of that graduate degree by taking courses at an accelerated pace while they are on campus. Beyond our students' graduate school placements, we also are really proud of the outcomes that our students have. We have an incredible career center that really helps students find internships not only locally within Allentown and the Lehigh Valley, but also back at home if they plan to go back to California for the summer, or if they want to travel to another city. We also take advantage of our proximity to cities like New York and Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. So our Career Center hosts a series of what we call career road trips, where they take students to different cities to do site visits and really start to network and get to see what career opportunities exist within their major or area of professional interest. At Muhlenberg, we are a common application exclusive school. We have been test optional since 1996, so no need to send standardized testing to Muhlenberg. We are a school that really values demonstrated interest, and so we really love the opportunity to get to know our students through the process, whether that's through a high school visit, certainly an interview, or our audition process for talent-based grants for our theater program. For financial aid, we only require students to submit the FAFSA, and we automatically consider students for merit-based aid when they are applying for admission. So wow, 6 minutes goes by really fast. I'm going to pass things off to our next presenter. Thanks so much, friends.
All right, thank you to Muhlenberg College. And next up, we have the University of San Diego.
Good evening. My name is Scott Yanner. I'm one of the admission counselors at the University of San Diego. As well, I oversee Northern California as well as the Southwest. A little bit about the information about the University of San Diego. We were founded in 1949 by the Diocese of San Diego, the Sisters of the Sacred Heart. In 1972, they merged them all together to form now we know as USD. We are not affiliated with any particular orders. We're not a Jesuit school or Franciscan school. We're governed by an independent board of trustees. On that board of trustees, there's 2 seats for each of the founding parties as well. The only religious requirement we have is 1 lower division, 1 upper division, religious theology studies. Lower division typically is going to tie in a little bit of just Catholic history. Upper division, you can take whatever you want. I have a daughter who's a senior at USD. When she did her study abroad in Ireland, she took Buddhism for her upper division. About 40% of our students identify with the Catholic faith. The remainder of our students either identify with a different faith background or no faith background at all. We do not require students to go to Mass, nor do we require them to be a part of the campus ministry. But if you're looking for that component, we have an incredible campus ministry that's super engaged on our campus, but locally, and they do a lot of transporter work, with Mexico being 30 minutes away from our doorstep. As well, we are a mid-sized institution. We have about 5,900 undergraduates, 2,900 graduate and law students on campus. About 48% of our students are out of state, 9% of our students are international. And the remainder of our students are from the state of California. About 38% of our students do identify as being students of color. As you're walking west on our campus towards the west end, you will be blown away by the views. We are ranked 6th most beautiful campus in the nation. Sunsets are absolutely spectacular as it overlooks the Mission Bay, Mission Beach, as well as downtown San Diego. So just an amazing campus to be able to visit. Truly is absolutely stunning when you walk on the campus. We do offer 42 majors at USD. Regardless of your intended major that you put on your application, everybody comes in undeclared. You have up until your 4th semester to declare your major, double major, major minor, and you're guaranteed any of our majors. So you don't have to reapply for any major. Once you've been admitted, you're guaranteed any of them. You can actually do a double major outside of discipline. You could be a business major along with a theater major or an English major. With that, with our engineering program, it is a 4.5-year long program. So that's the only caveat to the rule. And that's because our students are actually going to graduate with both a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Science. Engineering is ranked 13th in the nation. We also have great pre-professional advising. So if you're looking to like pre-med, pre-law, pre-dental, this is not a major or minor, but it is an additional pathway. It'll give you an additional advisor that will walk with you over the course of the next 4 years to make sure you meet all the prerequisites needed to be able to apply to grad school, internship opportunities, undergrad research opportunities, as well as between your junior and senior year, preparing for your MCAT, your DAT, your LSAT, your GRE, or whatever test that you're going to be taking with that. Our average class size is 22, and we cap all of our courses at 40. So in 4 years, my daughter's largest class has been 33. Her smallest class has been 12. All of our courses are taught by professors. All of our professors have weekly office hours. So they're super accessible to the students as well to be able to meet with them for office hours. We also have a very dynamic 2-hour life on campus. We have over 180 clubs and organizations. We have 17 Division I athletic programs. We're part of the West Coast Conference. with the exception of our football team. They are Division I, but they're part of the Pioneer League. We also have 50+ club and intramural sports for students to be able to be a part of. We have 30+ cultural organizations on campus, 65+ honor professional societies. We do have 9 sororities and 9 fraternities as well. So there really is something for everyone to be a part of. Second week of each semester, we have the Alcala Bazaar, where all of the clubs and organizations are out. So it's a great opportunity to really see what's available for students to try something new like surfing, or maybe to be a part of a business club or whatnot, but allows them to be able to create just some opportunities to be able to do things on their off time while they're at the university. We are also one of 45 campuses worldwide that has the designation as an Ashoka Changemaker campus. We take a lot of pride in this. You'll hear a lot about change making and being change makers on campus. And this is a result of our ongoing commitment to social justice, social innovation, entrepreneurship, sustainability, global perspective. When it comes to the study abroad, about 83% of our students will do at least one study abroad option while at USD, whether it's an intersession, a summer session, maybe it's a semester abroad, a year abroad, or even some of our business degrees have double degrees where they're actually up to 2 years abroad with that. We have a USD campus in Madrid, Spain, which is really popular. But regardless of where we choose, there really is an opportunity as we have opportunities at every continent, with the exception of Antarctica to be able to do a study abroad. We are Common App exclusive, regular decision December 15th. We don't have early action or early decision. 1 letter recommendation is required either from a teacher or a counselor. As long as we have one of those, if you are volunteering in the community and they want to write you a letter of recommendation, you're more than welcome to submit that as well. It does say that test scores are going to be optional. We've actually just made the decision last week that we're going to be test blind this year as well. So this past year we we're test blind, and we're going to continue with that with the incoming applicants for fall of 2022. So when we're looking at, we do a holistic review on the application. We're going to look at your academic achievement. This sort of GPA there is from the incoming class of fall of 20. We look at your change maker qualities, your personal qualities. And then finally, we do offer merit scholarships. Top 40% will automatically receive merit scholarships. Last year ranged from 18 to 25,000, as well as some other opportunities as well. And with that, I will end my time here.
All right, thank you so much to the University of San Diego. And that was actually our last presenter for this evening. However, we still have a bit more time. So I would like to invite all of our panelists, all of our presenters to turn their cameras back on so we can do a little bit of a Q&A. And the first question I would like to ask all of you is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And let's go ahead and start with University of Michigan.
Thanks, Andy. And I think it's a great question, especially for those of you that are joining us, that perhaps this is the first time that you've ever gone through the process. I think leaning into the information that you have within the construct of your high school college counseling office is probably my advice. I'll switch it up between sessions, but I definitely wanted to give that information because they are our partners in this process. Really, they are the ones that will be able to let us know if you are missing anything, any items, etc., and really guiding you to the complex situation, early action, early decision, dates, test flexible, test optional, etc. It's a lot of information. So that is my best advice, is to really lean on the support and resources that are at your hands at this time.
My advice is stay away from rankings. I know it's going to be tempting to look at rankings when you're in the college search process, but I feel if you are making your college decision based on a ranking, you could be following the crowd. You want to make sure that you find the university that ranks the best for you, not what anyone else says, but what ranks best for you. Because if it feels best to you, you'll do well there. And at that point, it really doesn't matter where you go to school. But you want to make sure you do go to a place that will support you and what you want to do.
Hey everybody, my advice would be to keep an open mind. There are over 4,000 colleges and universities in the United States. There are a lot you've never heard of. There might be 2 of us here today that you've never heard of, but there are great options all over the country and abroad. So just keep an open mind.
Yeah, my advice is to practice self-care throughout this process. I think it's really easy to let the college application process feel all consuming. There are going to be people in your life, aunts, uncles, Uber drivers, anyone who finds out you're a high school senior, is going to be asking you where you're applying to college, and it's okay to set boundaries. Or maybe you make the car when you're sitting in Bay Area traffic a college-free zone where you don't talk about college then. So give yourself some time to step away from it and enjoy, all that senior year has to offer, especially as the world begins to open up. So my advice is take some time away from the college process.
My advice sort of ties in a little bit to what Beck is saying, is that I hear students that apply to 10, 15, 20 institutions, and it just takes away from your senior year. If you do your research to really figure out what school is going to be a best fit for you, size, location, majors offered, it really allows you to sort of narrow that focus down. When you have 15 university applications you're trying to manage throughout for 3 months, it can be incredibly overwhelming. So more is not necessarily better. So just take that into consideration. And if you have the opportunity, visit the campuses that you are applying to, and really see if that is a good fit for you there.
All right. Yeah, lots of great advice there, definitely. Next question. I like this one. I think this one can be pretty fun, and it reminds me of my college days too. What is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
I'll go ahead and get started. University of Michigan, I love working for the institution, not only because of its commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, but also I'm a huge sports fan. So the Big House Michigan Stadium, largest football stadium in North America, American football stadium in North America, is definitely a tradition unlike any other. In a traditional year, 109,000 of your closest friends study hard. Your first, the week heading into the weekend, City of Ann Arbor doubles in size on a Michigan football weekend. And heading into the fourth quarter, I believe everyone joins in unison singing Mr. Brightside, as well as Hail to the Victors once we defeat our rivals down south.
At Emory University, we have a tradition that happens the first week of classes called Songfest. And so with Songfest, all the dormitories get together, all the first year dormitories get together, and you have 1 hour with your dorm mates to create a unique song and dance for your dorm. And then, you're going to compete against the other dorms. We have alums that come, upperclassmen, administrators that judge it. And if you win that, you have bragging rights for all 4 years that you're there, and you likely won't forget your song and dance while you're at Emory.
At Lawrence, my favorite tradition is Welcome Week. It is the week before classes start, and it's when our first year students move in and get oriented to campus. And we have a big convocation on the first night with all of your family who's with you and all the incoming students and transfer students. And we present you with your class colors. You shake the president's hand or elbow bump this year, maybe, and sign the honor pledge, which really binds all of our students together.
My favorite tradition is a little bit quirkier. We call it Sack Day, which is really kind of speaks to how artsy Muhlenberg is, I think. And so a lot of our dance students put themselves in these rectangular and very colorful Lycra sacks, and they place themselves all over campus. And so you'll be walking through the dining hall, the library, the student center, and you see people just making these kind of different shapes. You can't see their face or anything like that. It happens every spring, and it's just a really Muhlenberg moment, but and it's a COVID safe activity as well, since faces are completely 100% covered. So I know that's a favorite tradition of our students and of mine as well.
I think one of the traditions I appreciate at the University of San Diego is every Thursday, President Harris actually does a hike down to Tecolote Canyon, which is on the backside of the University of San Diego, and he invites students to be able to join him. So every week he has different students that just will show up to be able to go on the hike, but it's a great opportunity for them to connect with the president, to spend time with him. And I just really appreciate the fact that he gives our students that opportunity to have that access to him throughout the week.
Yeah, that sounds really, really great, all those traditions. And those are definitely the things that you are going to remember the most about your college experience, I feel like. We heard a lot of this already in your presentations, but can you just provide us, each of you, with an interesting or fun fact about your school? And again, we'll start with Michigan.
Thanks, Andy. Happy to get us started. And I think many students are surprised by noting that in a traditional year, finals week is the last week in April for our Michigan undergrads. So students behind me, there is a threat of snow during April. So Michigan April weather is unpredictable, but they're also happy because finals is upcoming. And then they get those summer months, May, June, July, to do a study abroad internship in a traditional year. So I would say that would be the interesting fun fact at the University of Michigan. Go Blue.
At Emory University, Atlanta, Georgia is the home of Coca-Cola. It's founded in Atlanta. And so a lot of Emory's founding came from Coca-Cola. So we would not be who we are if it was not for Coca-Cola. So every year we have at the start of the school year, we have a Coca-Cola toast. And so Coca-Cola bottles Coke just for Emory University. You can't find those bottles anywhere else. And we do a Coke toast to start the school year. And so it goes without saying that you will not find another soft drink within 10 square miles of Emory University besides Coca-Cola. So.
A fun fact about Lawrence is that we do not have any first-year residence halls. So all of our residence halls have first, second, third, and fourth-year students in them. And then to add on to that, Harry Houdini was born and raised in Appleton. So we have some magic, and we also have a sorting hat in our library.
I love all of those facts, Brianna. That's amazing. At Muhlenberg, through our theater department, we have a 6-sequence stage combat program where students can actually get certified as stage combatants. And so through that program, you can take a class called swashbuckling, which is single sword fighting like a pirate. So sometimes you'll hear me affectionately referring to Muhlenberg as Muhlenberg because of that swashbuckling class.
And I think a fun fact about USD is last year, NASA added 11 new astronauts to its ranks, of which 2 of them were USD alum. So we were super proud of that.
Very cool. Those are some of the best fun facts I've heard from schools in these sessions. So that was really, really awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And with that, I think we are actually just about out of time here. So I do want to say thank you very much to all of our presenters today for talking about their institutions. And also thank you to all of you for joining us tonight. When you close this window, there is going to be a link to a very quick 4-question survey, and we'd appreciate any feedback that you could provide on this session. Also, this is just one of many sessions being hosted. Of course, there's another one after this, so please be sure to sign up for that as well. And lastly, in about a week, you will be able to find this session's recording, as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/BACS. But I want to thank you again and have a good rest of the fair.